Hello, my name is Allison, and today I want to build some rainbow townhouses in Paralives. I was inspired by a few of my favorites who have done this in The Sims 4. And Paralives, I think, is a great option for this challenge because they have the color wheel. So as you can see, I've built my little street, and there are 12 houses in total here. I want to do 6 pastel and 6 darker tone houses. And to keep it interesting, I'm going to be using a wheel of aesthetics. All right, so I have my wheel of aesthetics here, and we are going to spin for our pink house. Okay, witch core, pink witch core. Should be interesting. So first thing, I want to get some paint, and we'll change up the roof as well. So a foundation, I think a stone or a brick would be nice. And I want a more old style, like that one. I also like that one. And they actually already have a pink here. I would like to get some siding for the walls. And we could do shingles. We could also do the horizontal siding. We could even do a stucco, maybe. I do really like this one, the scallops. And I'm gonna change up the bottom, actually. I feel like it's a little too salmony. Okay, might change that later. We'll see. And then some windows. So Paralives has so many window options. You can't really size them down in the same way that you can with some other windows. They get shorter and skinnier at the same time. Very cool feature, but a little bit less customizable. And Paralives highlights everything in blue when they're aligned, so that's a helpful feature, although it doesn't always do it. And then, you know what I would really like is these windows here with the arch. It would be nice if they had a matching bottom window, but I'm curious if there's anything that could match like that. Like if we stretch this one out, will it? No, not quite. Is there anything with 3 panes? I can try. No, that turns into 4. Because I would love to be able to do like multi-floor windows. I mean, I know that we can just drag this down, but I don't like seeing the seam there where the floor is. So I'd like to have this and then just a square down here. Okay, and then I think some shutters would be nice. And we got a couple options. There's also shutters that you can add separately, but it seems like the flipping them is bugged right now. They just disappear. Maybe like a dark pink. I like that. And then we want a little fence here. Yeah, I like this little one. And then we should get a column for that as well. Ooh, I really like this cozy cottage door. I do like these round ones as well. This one is called Balder's door. And then this is more of a bistro type door, some French doors, this gate. Oh good, I thought it disappeared for a second. And now I think these windows don't quite fit. I really want an arched window, but I wish that they were a little bit more customizable. But will they fit? No, they won't. Dude. I like it, and I want a little window to go there. And the thing above the door. Beautiful. Okay, and then we want some roof paint, and we want some corbels maybe. I think I want some shingles on top, but I think scallop on scallop is maybe a little too much. I think this one. I'm not requiring everything to be pink. As you can see, I've added white accents here. So we might do a white roof, or perhaps we will do something different, like a darker pink. Yeah, I don't hate that. And then I want to get some chimneys. I think chimneys add so much to these roofs. No, I love these Chitadiki chimneys. I think that it's for the citadel or the ruins over there. And I really like the teal color too. I might leave that. Do we have any stairs with a matching railing? A lot of them are this very modern style. All right, lovely. And let's just make sure that a Para can walk up there. Great. So I need to keep in mind this is witch core as well. I feel like curving out this piece here would do a lot. Unfortunately, we cannot do that yet. Some more columns to frame everything might be nice. And then I think trim. Okay, so let's look at what trims we have. And we do have a lot, but unfortunately they don't go on the roofs yet. But we can put one on the bottom for sure. There's our trim. And then do we have corbels? Now what is the witchiest one? The witchiest corbel. I don't know, pink witch, it kind of just leans fairy. So there's that, this, and there's this little bitty one. And I love this one, but I think that our chunkier one is going to work better. That looks lovely, except for these guys sticking out. Get out of here. Okay, and then maybe we can put some tile on the mansard roof. No, we cannot. there any other details that I want to add? Ooh, okay, so we can't put these things on roofs yet, and this is the only one they have right now. We can use the advanced transform tool, I believe. Let's raise it a bit. Excellent. Okay, I really like that little detail. I'm hoping for more trims and such. What can we do to make this more witchy? So I think that the spooky stuff will be our best friend. Oh, it's called spooky. There's some bats, there's some cobwebs, maybe for the inside. There's a witch hat. We gotta have that for our witch core build. Yeah, we can have some floating candles too, I think. And can we recolor this? No, we can't. Slumber bottom, the ghosty. Adorable. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna add these. They'll be like our little version of window boxes. Well, speaking of, these stone ones seem very witchy, so we might put a few of those out here. And to me, witches are very planty. And I also wanted to have some planters on the outside. This one seems witchy. And then our bats can go underneath. So there are our flower boxes. And then our bats, adorable. Let's go into the flowers and find our witchy plants. I like how these have little feet, so it's almost like they're enchanted. That does remind me of the weird items that have like hands and faces and things. So I think it might be fun to add some of those as well. Like, yeah, Johnny's Awesome Rock, it has a face, I believe. Yeah, there we go. So if we just line this with that, could be like our witch's victims. And I think a witch definitely needs some vines. Lovely. Okay, wow, I just got up to use the bathroom and my cat was sitting on my lap. My foot is so asleep that I almost fell over. Perils of having a cat. So I really like the way the exterior is turning out so far, and I think that we will go inside. But we should think of a floor plan first, and I've got my little spooky decorations in the corner. First, let's grab our stairs. And I would love to do like a wraparound moment, but I'm a little bit scared of platforms right now. I have experimented quite a bit in another save and they are quite glitchy. We can have a bedroom up here and then maybe a bathroom. It is a pretty small house. I don't want to use the bay for a bathroom though. What if we come out like that? Downstairs, I think it can just be open plan. So perhaps we could have a little office in there. Witchy office. So let's get some doors. Interior doors. Oh yes, yes, yes. This one with the hands, that is quite witchy. I think that that will be our bathroom door, and then downstairs I think we'll just have an archway. You know witch has got to have a crazy kitchen. And then for our wallpaper, I think we need to have something floral, very planty and floral. Oh, I like this like foresty one though, this birch. And we are going pastel here, so I think we can do a very pale pink. Yeah, lovely. Adora! For floor, I do think wooden floor is quite witchy. So I think that we'll have our living area and dining this way, and then the kitchen can be against like this corner. And one nice thing about townhouses is you don't have to put windows on the side walls for the most part. And what is our witchiest counter? Definitely not one of the modern ones. And then we got some different handle options too. Longer ones, shorter ones, the knobs, squares. I like how wonky they are. Half circles. That one is saying witch to me the most. Perfect. And then we want a corner piece here. We can drag out the counter a little. And I think I'll get an in piece. Oh, this one is called Bibbidi Bobbidi, I think. No, Biddo Body. But in my head, I'll think of it as Bibbidi Bobbidi. Some drawers for our witch supplies. I guess we should get our fridge. Witchy fridge. Clown is creepy, but it's not quite witchy. Our stove. And this stove looks quite witchy to me. Although we may need to change the colors. Small appliances, I don't know. I feel like the witch would do that herself. And the toasters don't work as far as I can tell. Instead, we have these frying pans that our paras will make toast with. And then we want a range hood. This one looks quite witchy. And we got our island. They are not functional yet. Stools, I believe, are still early access. And that might be a nice place for our sink. This sink does look rather witchy to me. It's kind of dirty, but... And I don't know if we get a washing machine or not. Kind of leaning towards no. I think the witch needs to be a little more naturalistic. Okay, and then let's move on over to the entry. We can get some coats, some witchy coats, and maybe a hat. And have we got a broom? Yes, okay, we have a broom. Very happy about that. Wish we could recolor the hat. That's the way it is. This is like Elphaba and Glinda's baby. Alright, now what can go here? I think we could put a little seating area maybe. These floating candles. Quite hard to see, but they are very cute. I would like it if they lit up more. Maybe we can put a chandelier in as well. And then we have our floating candles around, and they're actually on strings, I see. Yeah, the light that it gives off is not great, but I don't know what else we can do. Perhaps a little dining area. I would like a place for our paras to actually eat. And I like the tablecloth. That's kind of like a fortune teller type of table. Maybe just underneath the stairs. And then we want some spooky chairs. Oh, we got our footstool. Yeah, I like that. Before I go any further, let's test that out. No, it doesn't seem like she can. I wonder if this is sittable. Oh, she's moving. She's moving. Yeah, okay. Okay, it seems like she's just sitting in the same chair over and over again. So leave the legs this fleshy color. And there we go. Of course, we need some candles. Size these down a tad. So perhaps we will also have a chandelier here. Maybe some plants. We can put our little cauldron here. And we can put our skull. And I might put a small desk and a computer because a computer is very important in this game, even if you are a witch. And then office chair. We want a witchier one. We don't want a modern chair. Let's just give her a pink laptop. Skull, witch skeleton, maybe some pumpkins. Old memories of Ibby. It's like a crystal ball there. And I might put that fortune telling table in just for some ambiance. And we can't sit on these. I might use these poofs actually. Okay, and we shall put our crystal ball on it. And then upstairs we still have to pick out our wallpaper. And then while we're at it, we might as well get some tile for the bathroom. And I think for our witch, these flowers are definitely the witchiest. And I'm a sucker for tile, so I'm probably going to just put in the matching floor tiles too. Overwhelming? I do not care. We want a bathtub for sure. I think this is witchier, even though it does have like water in the bottom, which is a little bit gross. Okay, our witch can be a bit gross, I suppose. We could do this ghosty one. Need a magic mirror. This one is the best. That's nice. And I really like that they have this option so you can add molding to all of the wallpapers. This layout, very difficult to fit in a double bed in a way that two paras can actually get in. She does not have a partner in her life. Ooh, we should put in Kevin's extra spoopy spider mat. I know there's mods that will allow you to upload your own custom rugs. I don't have that right now, but you know, I'm not opposed to getting it in the future. I don't know, I do want to play around with just the vanilla game for a while. Something round would be nice. I have layered this rug on top of other rugs, and I think that might be appropriately witchy. Then we've got these antique rugs, non-recolorable, maybe under the fortune telling station. And we can make that pink, and then we can put this one on top of it, and we will have to use the shift key to raise it up slightly. And then that makes it float. What I found is shift plus alt will allow you a little more control over that because it just snaps to the ground when I'm only holding shift. By the way, when I'm moving the camera around, I'm still getting used to the controls, so I do apologize if you're getting a little bit seasick. And I also wanted to make sure that we have good lighting in here. I mean, the daytime lighting is gorgeous, but the nighttime lighting, maybe a little table lamp would be nice, and we can size it down a little bit. I wonder if we can actually put it inside of the crystal ball. That would be cool. Okay, I like that. I really want to find a use for this lamp other than a kid's room. I like the weird lamps a lot. The leg lamp. Okay, well, it's definitely not as bright as I normally like my builds to be, like in The Sims. I don't really want to go too overkill with huge lights. I'm just gonna hope for an update that lets the light extend a little bit further. And then maybe we can put like a sofa facing that way. I'm not sure with the spacing if paras will be able to watch the TV. Ooh, and I saw some trunks, luggage. Okay, yeah. Oh my god, the fox, that's adorable. And there's a cat one. It's gotta be a black cat. I don't care if it's not in the color scheme. And I am looking forward to having pets in this game too. Okay, and it's double-sided. And I have exactly these pillows in real life. Like when I was building my apartment, yeah, I did not need to change a thing about that pillow. Okay, and I know I'm going a little overboard with the pillows, but I don't care. I'm not even sure if our paras will be able to sit on the couch and watch it. I've noticed that's been a point of difficulty. Ooh, yeah, we have the ones, the stone people. Ooh, and our witch needs some herbs for sure. Thyme, parsley, chives. basil. Okay, so we're missing rosemary and sage. Okay, what are witch play video games? A switch for the witch. So under clutter, we have this paper goods section, and you can find all types of books. That's a bit precarious. A shelf underneath the windows would be nice, and we can put our herbs up there. Okay, that's very nice. And witches love baking. Let's add an apron, and of course it's going to be pink. Mind control protection helmet, black cat mugs. We have to have that. Maybe some knives for cutting up children. Okay, I think I'm going to do a little bit more coloring, and I will see you later. So here's our house tour, and it is a slideshow instead of a walkthrough because the camera was really fighting me on this one. So here's our exterior. I'm super pleased with this. I feel like I have managed to capture the witchiness. There are some little clues here. There's the rocks. I added some skeleton arms to this planter area, and we've got the spooky ghosts on the outside. I think that with pastel pink, it is a challenge to communicate witch. And here's our little balcony area. There's not much space out here for anything. You could put an easel if you wanted, but I just stuck with the ghosts. And then inside we have our kitchen, lots of herbs, spices, knives, baking equipment, our little cat mug, and you can see the cat pillow here. Yeah, pretty basic. I mean, I wanted to definitely give her a lot of clutter and potions and bottles and things like that, but I didn't want to make it too technological. And then we also have our floating candles, our chandelier. Although I suspect this witch might be a fraud because her candles are in strings. And then here's another angle of this area. You can kind of see the seating area. You can see there's a little oyster log that my para found. And I thought that it actually fit very well in this build. Probably a few different items that you can find out in the world can add to the ambience. I haven't figured out if there's a debug menu that I can access yet, but that might be helpful too in the future. And then we have our entryway. We have our witch's hat, again on a string. We've got our broom, which I believe is actually called the witch's second job or something like that. Super funny descriptions here. I'm glad that they've kept with that tradition. And we have our comfy couch with lots and lots of pink pillows and our black cat pillow. And by the way, I also play tested this. I did not get good footage of it, but everything works. Even the couch, you can sit on it and watch TV. So I'm happy about that. Then in here, you can see our dining area, our office, and underneath the stairs, we have our little fortune-telling vibe station. You can't sit there, you can't really do anything there, but there it is. I mean, I think that it definitely makes the build feel more mystical. And then we've got our desk. I added some books, got our pumpkins, our candles, our skull, our hand sculpture, and yeah, it looks like our witch is studying botany maybe. And then another angle of the dining table. We have our creepy footstools, or feet and hand stools. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but they are creepy. And then our fortune-telling station again. And our bookshelf with our salt lamp, lots of books on top too. And I believe you cannot read any of the books that are in the stacks, only the ones that are in the shelf. And there's no reading for fun, only for skills so far. Then upstairs we have our bed area. We've got our frog plushie, which I really like that. We've got some skeletal decor for sure. We have another creepy stone statue table and only a single bed because I couldn't make it work with this layout. I think maybe in the next build I will try to do a multiple person household. Although it'll be difficult, they are the same size. Then another angle of the bedroom. This hallway area I left pretty blank because I didn't want to mess with the routing too much since we've got a couple doors there. And then we have the astronomy corner, which I really like. We have our 7 stars hanging up for the 7 sisters. We've got a little stone bench with a blanket and some pillows to make it a little bit less uncomfortable. We have our celestial map, our globe there, and of course we have our telescope. And then around the corner in this little nook, we've got a tea cart, we've got some books, very cozy when you're waiting for the meteor shower. And we have some plants, of course, as well. I thought this was a great location to get some of those hanging plants in there. And then this is the bathroom. The bathroom was very, very hard to get pictures of, so I only have the one angle. This is all the interesting stuff anyway. There's just a sink behind us. And yeah, we have all of our pink bathroom clutter. Skulls, some crows, a little spider hanging out there. That, I believe, concludes the tour. Well, that does it for today's build. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.